Brightest blessings, everyone. Psychic medium Elizabeth Grove, the Paranormal Priestess. Hope everyone's been having a great weekend. And I just want to really thank everyone who subscribed to the channel. And I've been hearing so many good things from people, from emails to the comments. And I really do appreciate that. So I never want to forget to extend my thanks. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Hi, I'm Elizabeth. Hopefully that you find something here that's going to help you on your journey, perhaps validate something for you. I am a medium. I'm a divine channeler as well as a remote spirit extractor specialist. So I can do really high-level channelings for people all over the world. I can speak to the other side as well. I can also communicate with higher selves. And I do very, very unique remote extraction work. And this type of work is via my light body. And what makes it so unique is that it's able to remove all types of lower beings, all types of negative energies. And it's also a full-on healing, so it's able to not only activate, but it's also able to uncap many divine gifts that people have. So it's just been extraordinary, and I've been doing so much of this lately. So I actually just want to mention a couple of things before I get into this video. Also, I'm a divine twin flame. I don't want to forget that, but I'm also on the twin flame journey. But I wanted to make an announcement as far as people who have contacted me for spirit extraction work. I just want to let you know that I will be putting a little bit of a cap on that work for now because there's just been a lot of people who have been needing clearings, some of them very severe. And so I really do need to just kind of pace myself and also take care of my own energy, my own body. So I will let people know when I'll be continuing this work. But for now, I'm just going to put a little bit of a cap on there. But hopefully I'll be opening that back up to others who need it shortly. For those of you who contacted me for readings, thank you for your patience with me being able to respond to you, because sometimes it's just not always possible for me to get back to people within a day, and sometimes a couple or even 3 days. I try my best, but there's just literally time goes so fast now that I try my best to get back to everyone, and plus I'm doing the paranormal work too. So if I don't get back to you within a couple of days, just hang tight. I will get back to you. I'm just, there's just so much time that I can do things in, and I'm only one person. So, but I definitely attempt to get to people as soon as I can. But just please understand with that. With this video, I really feel like it's so relevant now, but yet it's so relevant all of the time. And I really think it's one that is worth talking about, to really talk about where our blocks are, what's blocking us, if we're blocked, that type of thing. It's really the time to step into our true authentic selves and our empowerment. And this video is a video for everybody. It is not just for those who are on a divine path. But certainly if you are a twin flame, this is going to be one that's really, really going to take you there. It's really going to be one that's going to attract things and put you into your alignment, and also shift things for your beloved, because it's always about the mirror, okay? But we need to remember that every single person that we have in our lives, all those people that we attract, they're all there for lessons, and they're all a reflection of where we're at with our energy, where we're vibrating. So with that, it's always starting with us, where we're at, where we're vibrating, how we think about ourselves, how we feel about ourselves. Are we thinking that we are beautiful and empowered and special, or are we thinking the opposite? Okay. I can say from doing a lot of the reading work lately that blocks especially have been highlighted, as far as being able to attract, say, like the twin flame. There's still more work to be done. So if you are on a divine path, such as a twin flame path, and you are not in union yet, then there are more things to address. All comes down to energy. So that means that there's definitely more personal work to be done. And some people they're not really understanding, or maybe they haven't delved in like really deep within this as to what those personal blocks are, what are the ways in which we do block ourselves, and where does that stem from. And I know that it opens up a lot of old wounds for people to be able to do this, and it's really difficult. And I really commend people who always tell me, Elizabeth, I've done so much work on myself. You don't understand. This has been long. I'm exhausted. You know, I had to let go and purge so many things. And I understand, I understand. Being on a divine path myself, I really get that. And especially for those who have twin flames, they are able to mirror to you all of those things that are not only the great things and having our gifts emerge and understanding, starting to understand our place in the world and that type of thing, but they also mirror to us all of that junk and all those things that we don't like looking at about ourselves. And it faces us, we are faced rather to really look at those things honestly and to really explore them again in order to let them go for good. And it's really, really difficult. There's just so many ways in which we do block ourselves. So I'll try to touch on some of them. I know I don't want to, I always say that I don't want to make my videos too long, but then, they end up kind of going, running their own natural course, I guess. So I'm just going to go with that. But one of the blocks that I know comes up for people is one of body image, okay? So that's the first one that I'll talk about. And with body image, it's one of those things where we have so many outside influences that are toxic, very toxic influences. The media absolutely being one of them. And I'm really, really hoping that Time's Up's going to be for that too, because we still, have, perfect bodies, so to speak, and what that consists of thrown into people's faces as, what is the standard for having a sexy body, having a beautiful body. And we put a lot of emphasis on that, okay? And it's just really a lot of it comes down to just being very, very shallow. And I'm not talking about like when we take care of our bodies and we love our bodies and we nurture our bodies with good food and we work out and that type of thing, and that's wonderful. But when we start projecting that to people, like even like young girls, we project it that is what you should look like, and if you don't look like this, then there's something wrong with you and something to think about as far as fixing. Then that's where that toxic ego pattern starts developing. So I think that the media has done a lot of damage with this over the years by far. And, it's caused many, and this is for men too, so this is not just for women, but both women and men are exposed to this. Men are exposed to, like, the guys have to have the rock hard abs and the arms and all of that, and that's considered the sex symbol, and the women have to have the abs, and, the women have to have, like, these big breasts and whatever it is, they have to look tight and all these things, and we have all these types of images. So I'm not saying that, it feels good when we look good and all that type of thing. But if we are overemphasizing and only placing our value on that, and we're also projecting into the world that this is the model, so to speak, and if you don't add up to that, then you're absolutely crap. This is toxic. This is toxic stuff. So I think a lot of that, and the magazines and all those types of things, we have to start understanding and realizing too that so much of the body image is completely generated by computers. There's so much airbrushing. There's so much fixing of things. With this day and age, with the digital era, we're able to digitally enhance or take away things, and people have to realize that, especially young people who are very impressionable, that looking at that, and when we make those comparisons of, oh, I don't fit that image, again, it could stay with us and can do real, real damage. And when it does that damage, it absolutely affects our personal relationships in a huge way. Okay. And that's where our vibration lowers, and we don't have the self-worth, the self-appreciation, the self-love. And that's where, attracting a higher type of love just cannot exist. It cannot exist, because if we do not step into loving ourselves for what we look like, with our flaws and all, then how can we ever think that someone else would love us for those things? Okay, everything is energetic. So we want to be able to raise our vibrations and frequencies to the highest level possible. So loving our bodies is very, very important. I know that I had some issues with this for a while, and this was something that was developed for me over time. For me, I mean, this may be for some people out there, but I know that I've had, like, my family experiences that were, I'll just say, dysfunctional. But to have dysfunctional speaking and that type of thing growing up, it wasn't all bad, but I got a lot of that. But by being exposed to that, it doesn't help. It really doesn't help for us to really look at ourselves in a very good light, because we get to hear a lot of these things. So whether it's aimed at the actual child or the parent is doing it to the other parent, again, when we're growing up, we're very impressionable. So if you had parents that bashed you or made you feel like you were less than in any type of way, or was constantly telling you, that you're too heavy, or, you're fat, or you're too skinny, or you don't look good enough, put some makeup on, fix yourself because you look like crap, whatever that type of toxic language was. And, that all comes down to be just conditioning, basically, okay? And it really writes a lot of mental programming, negative mental programming, and negative emotional programming. And I get to see a lot of these things when I clear people, too. I have to remove mental programming, emotional programming, but I also, when I channel, I notice that these types of things do come up for people, as far as that they can trace their experiences back to their family. And so I definitely urge you to do that. But this was in my case with this, for sure, as well as the fact that, being in a band, I used to be a singer of a rock band and things, and so, I recorded CDs, I did shows, I did photo shoots. I was used to, this was the image that I projected out to people. And for me, I never changed my personality or anything like that. I was always a very down-to-earth person and everything like that, but I just, I think I put way too much emphasis of self, how do I say this? Like, I just felt like I was more attractive, I guess, when I was in my makeup, when I was in my character. And, there was a real reality check there, because I started to run into some health issues down the line, and I was unable to have my makeup or have that character anymore. So once that makeup was taken away, it's like I didn't really know I was beautiful anymore. And I felt like if I didn't have this type of mask or this character or that look, the signature look that I've always had, I just didn't understand, how I was going to love my body image anymore. Okay, I just really felt lost. I felt like, like the magic was in the makeup. And when that was taken away, I just felt like I just wasn't really beautiful. And one day I was walking across the street, and I had this person stop me, actually, and he was just saying, I just want to let you know you look like a princess. And then I had another person that stopped me also that had said, I just want to let you know that you're really beautiful. I was walking in a park, as a matter of fact, no makeup or anything like that, because I couldn't wear it because of allergies and such. And it was like it was a shocking thing for me, because I was like, well, how could I how could I be considered like really attractive? I wasn't even fixed up. I didn't have my hair done. I didn't have my makeup on or anything like that. And this is like getting caught up in like that image, that body image again. And you know, we really have to be able to really love ourselves at all stages, even like a stage like that. And I fluctuated, of course, with weight like people normally do. But if we just badger ourselves and, you know, bash ourselves, it's just not healthy at all. Again, these are all really, really toxic things. And with body image, I really feel like we get very caught up in comparing ourselves to others, feeling like if we aren't like others, that somehow we just are not right and we have to fix ourselves. And that can really get us into some really bad habits. It really can. Again, the media does not help whatsoever with this. You know, a lot of like the supermodeling and things like that, the magazines and, you know, all of this type of thing, Hollywood, all that. It really kind of gives us like this type of thing to think about of, you know, what is the reality versus the illusion and that type of thing, and how do we wish to change that type of thinking now? Now that we are going into the 5D paradigm, and this is the 3D paradigm type of thing, what are those toxic things regarding the body that are just in the highest good to not pay attention to anymore, to really go against the grain with that? I think one of the things that sticks out in my mind is Alicia Keys that had made that decision of not wearing makeup and things like that. And I think, like for me, actually, that spoke a lot to me, because here she was barefaced. She always had worn makeup, and this was kind of like her look as well. And that was really a brave thing to do. And of course, with the modeling, you know, now we're seeing women of different shapes and sizes who are now starting to smash down that type of thing. Just today, I went into Target, and instead of only seeing like, you know, this really stick figure type of mannequins, I've seen mannequins now that are depicting women of, you know, how reality of women, all different shapes and sizes. And I really, really feel that if we are able to just embrace that and embrace everyone's unique beauty, it's really, really a positive thing to do. It's going in a positive direction. If you are having issues with body image, I mean, this is something that's really, really important to address right now. If you are wanting to attract, you know, a higher love of someone that really loves and respects you, and knows you're worth it and all those things, you have to first love and respect yourself and know you're worth it on every single level. So if body image is one of your things, I definitely urge you to explore where this mode of thinking came from, what maybe has contributed to this, the contributing causes, and perhaps what are the root causes of this. And many times we do trace this to our upbringing, as to what we've been exposed to from our parents, from siblings, from kids at school, you know, from coworkers, from people we've been around, and to really just toss those things out, to really let go of those things once and for all, and really step into why your unique body is just so beautiful, and that there's no need to fix you in any way, to really celebrate your body. My twin's higher self, in regards to body image, he helped me out a lot to just be able to write down some of the negative thought forms, and to be able to replace that with positive ones. And so to basically rewrite the program. And I thought this was just really, really brilliant. We also went over ways in which our body really helps us, okay? The things about our body, that our body is always looking to tell us where our health is at. So in other words, if someone is struggling with bad skin or something like that, or hair is falling out, or something like that, like a condition, your body is trying to actually send you a message to help you, not hinder you, but send you the message that I need help, I need nutrition, I need you to pay attention more to what's going on the inside. Okay, our skin helps to regulate, our our water, our moisture, our skin protects us in many ways, from different diseases, bacteria, and all those types of things. And also the very true fact that when you send your body love, your body is conscious and your love will send that love back to you. So it's really important to have that exchange with your body, and to know that if you love your own body image and your own body, your uniqueness with all its flaws, that's when someone else will also, love your body as well. Okay, those are the vibes that you're sending out. Those are the frequencies that you're sending out. And that's so crucial when, we are really desiring a higher love partnership, that we're able to accept ourselves. This is just the body image part that we're talking about, but to really be able to send our body love, acceptance, and to know that everybody has flaws. Okay, everybody gets older. People who claim to not have imperfections or flaws, or they're constantly looking to correct those things, it is a never-ending battle, and it can become a very, very bad addiction. Body dysphoric, that type of thing. And it doesn't end. It's a constant misery. And so for people who are constantly chasing down the perfect body image, it's never going to end in happiness. There's always going to be this unsettling feeling within us, and we'll never be in peace until we learn to just be present with our body and really love and accept it in every single stage. So I just want to put that out there with the body. There are people who feel like they are just not, they're not smart enough, and they'll never go anywhere in life, okay? And that type of thing is just, again, I feel like so many of these things, not even I feel, but I get to read it, like I said, as well, but I can't help, let's say, to just trace this back to upbringing, okay, and what we've been exposed to, what messages were sent to us about this, and what success means, and all that type of thing. And we really have to understand that when someone is in our space, whether a family member or a friend or whatever, or past relationships we have with others, okay, and also romantic relationships can really be toxic from the past, and also, create a lot of these mental programmings and emotional programmings. So it can come from a lot of relationships. But with the family type of thing, if you're hearing a lot of messages like you're not good enough, and you're not smart enough, and you're not going anywhere, you're not worth it, why bother, all these things, chances are your parents probably experienced that from their own parents, or perhaps your parents just never got to see through their goals and their dreams, and they were really disappointed, and they never really dealt with that, and so they project that onto their children. So it's always a good idea to search for the root causes of these things, and understand that we do have the power to heal these things. We do have the power now, and we are actually faced with it, especially those who are on the divine path, who have twin flames. We are faced with this now to really look at some of these things, actually all of these things, and make peace with everything. And so forgiveness is going to come up a lot, I feel. Okay, forgiveness. Because you got to remember, we want to be able to stop the pattern, passing on all these toxic behaviors and patterns. It can definitely end with us. And for those who are on special divine paths like this, we're faced with it. Again, we are faced with looking at these things really honestly, and making those changes, releasing these things, purging these things, so that way we can go higher and live life from a higher place. Feeling like you're not smart enough, feeling like you're not successful enough, this type of thing, I feel like a lot of people get caught up in not feeling like they can go anywhere, and so they never try, because they've been told their entire lives from various people, maybe even teachers, that they just weren't going to add up to anything, and that they're just not going to make it, so don't bother. And I think that that takes a real toll with your self-worth. Again, that's all along the lines of self-empowerment, right? Self-love and empowerment. And when we don't go for our dreams because we put limitations on them, and we don't feel empowered, then we're not getting the most out of life. We're not attracting the best out of life. So, to track down who installed that in us is really a very, very important thing, to let those thought patterns go and to just rewrite a brand new thought pattern, something that's a positive affirmation to take its place, to know that we are not limited beings in any type of way, okay? And that we're always capable of learning, okay? We are always capable of what we put our minds to, okay? It's only because of our own self-imposed limitations that we stop ourselves and we don't step into full empowerment to achieve our dreams, our goals, our missions, right? Success, success is one of those things that I think that society has projected plenty of. And what does it mean truthfully to be successful? And if you ask 10 different people in a room, you probably get like many varied answers as to what success is. To some people, they feel like success is making a lot of money. Like they put the emphasis on the finances, that, because I kill myself and I make a lot of money, then I am successful, and people will also view me as successful. But then if you ask another person in the room, they may say, well, I don't put the emphasis on the actual money. I know the money, the abundance will come. It's success when I'm feeling like I'm happy with what I do, and I'm making a difference in people's lives. I'm creating a positive impact. Okay, and that's what I'll be known for. That's what I'll leave here when I pass. That is success. Okay, well, kudos and bravo to that person who said that, because that's where we're going now. That's the 5D perspective. It's about really lending our hearts, lending our innate gifts, really making a difference with in people's lives by just being who we are, by using our natural talents, our creative talents, our natural healing gifts, our psychic gifts, all of that's just, lending people our way, just our energy about us, that's a success. That is a success. Some people get caught up in success and they feel like that's their identity. Okay, again, society shapes a lot of this, sometimes the family structure, also sometimes the cultural structure. A lot of cultures are very different and have a lot of struggles. So there are some cultures where there's a lot of poor people, things like that. So there's just a lot of pressures to be able to provide and to be successful. And so it's work. And that comes first before anything else. And, so that never good enough kicks in. But success, sometimes, there are people who get too caught up in their egos with success, and I feel like it's like that false identity crisis that we talk about, and that kicks in. And you got to remember that just because you have a lot of money and just because you feel like you've made it in the world, that doesn't necessarily equal that you have happiness and peace in your life. In fact, think how many people who have who've been very, very successful, famous people who have taken their own lives. I mean, that right there is proof that just because people view that as a measure of success, is it really success? Okay, or is it what the world really wants you to think is success? So, feeling empowered, it's about really understanding, that you are an empowered being in terms of really letting the world see your vulnerable side, your strengths, being honest with people, and really offering them tools and different ways of making their lives better, okay? And that makes you feel really, really good. Okay, so it comes down to, what is the block? The block is, just just seeing success as just in the ego sense, as just, what have you achieved as far as prosperity, money, material things, and putting too much emphasis on material things, then that's a block. That's a block where you are not reaching your heart. You're all in your head. You're all in your ego. And not being able to be empowered in your heart and know that you're an empowered being in the divine sense, that's most definitely a block. Most definitely. And that does definitely not take you into the place of self-empowerment, okay, or self-love. There are people that are considered very, very successful, and still they're just not happy. So take that with you. It's definitely something to really think about. Honestly, like, blocks are the key, and the more we're able to send positive messages to ourselves, it's really, really important to do that. The more that we are able to actually look in the mirror and appreciate what we see in every sense, it's not just skin deep at all. If we are able to appreciate all the qualities about us, and really honor those, and know that those are the things that really paint the picture of beauty, of empowerment, this is really the most important. Okay. It's not about having power over others. It's not about trying to control others. It's not about manipulation. It's not about any of those things. It's truthfully being able to stand within yourself in every single way, flaws and all, and really appreciate who you are. I know kids go through a lot of bullying growing up and things of that nature. And that shapes people in a lot of ways too. If kids have had bad experiences in school and they've been teased because, I don't know, they're weird, they're geeky, they're not fast enough, or whatever the case may be. By the way, I'm weird and proud of it. It takes a toll, and some of those things, actually many of those things, carry with us, and then we end up having a very toxic image of ourselves. Again, that really affects our ability to attract what it is that we really want in our lives, okay? To really have healthier people, friendships in our space who love us for who we are, okay? To be able to attract a divine partnership, one that is based on sacred love, not based on manipulation, not based on control. Those are the things that we are getting away from. Those are the toxic patterns and cycles that are ending. And it all begins with you, okay? So for those of you who are on the twin flame path and you say are not in physical union yet, then this is definitely an indication that there's more work for you to do, and there's more work for your twin to do. But remember this, that because they are your direct mirror, now everyone we meet in life, they're a reflection, okay, of where we're vibrating at. So everyone really teaches us about ourselves, really, okay? But no one's going to do that more than, say, your counterpart or your beloved. And they're your direct mirror. So they're going to bring up all of those things, both good and bad. They'll reflect them to you, and they'll magnify them to you. And this is why, the ability to look at all of these things now, we're faced with it. Whether we like it or not, these things are coming up now for us to look at, honestly, and to really know that it's time. It's time to get rid of these things and to go higher. And your twin will do that for you. And although it's very, very difficult and challenging to do this, I think that it's just really a beautiful thing to be grateful for it, because you are only going to step into the best version of yourself, and your twin kind of pushes you to do that. Being grateful for who you are, I think, and what you look like, everything about you. Staying grateful and thanking your body for the wonderful things that it does. being thankful for just the unique person that you are, and your quirkiness, your weirdness, and all. Really embracing that. That's key. That's key. Knowing that when you look in the mirror, if you are able to actually just love what you see, okay, and not look for things to improve or fixate on, that's the place that you want to be in. And I know for many of you who are probably watching this right now that that's very challenging for you to do. It's perhaps it's been a struggle, but it's really what's going to take you there. Okay, because we are losing all of these ego stigmas, all of these things. We are losing all of this stuff. Okay, there are new versions of beauty. There's new versions of sexy. There are new versions of successful. There's no new versions coming in, new templating for all of these things, and it's because of beings like you who've decided that you were going to come here in this day and age and become self-masters. And to achieve self-mastery, we have to truly dissect ourselves and really shed our skin, really shed things that no longer serve us, so that way we can step into the truth of us and know that beauty and empowerment truly is coming from that light within us. So it's not skin deep. It's not what we can prove as far as money or materialism and status and those types of things. It's truthfully about owning our person, owning everything that we are, okay? And not worrying about other things that we're not, because we're not meant to be those things. We're meant to be us. You're meant to be the best version of you. You're not meant to be the best version of some actor or actress or supermodel or whoever else, or sports athlete. You're supposed to be the best version of you, okay, and honor yourself. Affirmations are really, really helpful. Dream boards are really, vision boards rather, are very, very helpful for those who are visual. Just, reflecting and meditation on what makes you so unique, what makes you different from the rest, and how this is a good thing and not a bad thing whatsoever. What are the unique things about you that you bring to the world? What is special about your light? What is special? How do you make people feel? But if you can't make yourself feel that way first, it's about doing that work. It's about doing that work, and what is not allowing you to feel at peace with yourself. Getting rid of those comparisons, guys. That's so important for us to not compare ourselves like, oh, I don't make as much money as this person. Oh, I'm not as sexy and I'm not as pretty as this woman. Oh, I'm not as strong as this dude. Oh, I don't have the cars that this guy has. Whatever those comparisons are, get rid of them. Because it's just a never-ending snowball, a never-ending toxic cycle. You're not meant to compare yourself to anyone else because there's no one else like you. There is no one else like you. Yes, your twin is the other you, but you both still bring your own unique spirit, your own unique expression. So even though you are counterparts, for those of you who are twin path, you still bring your own unique expression. So for those of you who are, say, feel very disconnected from a divine beloved, if you're on that path, there's a reason for that. There's a reason for everything. And you know what that reason is? Because the divine is giving you the time, the very important, crucial time, to really devote to yourself, to the time that it takes to get into these things, these toxic patterns, this mental programming, emotional programming, and make peace with the past and let go of what does not serve you well, okay, and just keep what does and embrace what does, and step into just how beautiful you are, how worth it you are. That being worth it It's not from a place of status. It's not from a place of ego. It's from a place of heart. It's the heart space. It's the soul of you. And so many of you are ancient souls, old souls, right? They say, oh, I'm an old soul. Well, being an old soul, you've been different. You've been different in your entire life. I did a video on that, Old Souls for the New Earth. You've been different. You felt different. You've perhaps were treated differently. And that's because you were meant to be different, though. There's not because it's when you're growing up, it's tough, because you feel like, oh, if I'm not like everyone else at school, then I failed. I have to be like everyone else. Okay, I don't like being different. I like feeling like I belong, and I feel I want to be like everybody else. So that's where that difficulty comes in. That's where bullying comes in, all of that. But the truth is, as you get older and you become wiser and you start to, go through life and its ups and downs, its heartbreaks and all of these things, you start realizing as you get older what actually counts and what's bullshit. You do. And you start really just taking things off the list of what I used to think was important, what used to bother me, what I used to get too hung up on, and that list starts getting shorter and shorter, and it starts really coming down to the simple things in life, okay? And what matters most is truthfully about how you feel about yourself, how you treat yourself, and how you project that out into the world. And that's what makes the world a better place. Okay? So I definitely urge you to explore the different avenues in which you create limitations on that self-love and self-empowerment. Those thought patterns, those emotional patterns, those experiences that have conditioned you to not accept yourself and love yourself and stand in your power fully, to take that time, okay? And so, being by yourself with these things, it's a valuable time. It's not a time where, oh, gee, gosh, I'm not with anybody, so again, like, oh, I'm not worth anything because I'm not with anybody, or my life sucks because I'm not with anybody. No, you have this time so that way, and this is how beautiful it is as far as divine timing. You have that allotted time so that way you can prepare yourself and be the best version of yourself and feel good about yourself and enhance your light. You have that time. And when you do that, guaranteed everything else is going to shift. And the things that you desire in life and in the partnership that you desire, that love partnership that you desire, will be attracted. Okay? It will be, but it does have to start with you. So you may want to do some journaling. You may want to do a vision board. You may want to, like my higher self was working with me, write some things down. And turn that around. And if it's really difficult for you to look in the mirror and say, nice things to yourself, it could be difficult at first, and it may sound stupid to you at first, and you may not believe it whatsoever, but guaranteed that if you keep doing it, you're going to create a different type of thought pattern, and you will actually start believing it. And what you're believing is not an illusion. You're believing the truth, that you are beautiful and that you are worthy and that you are acceptable and that there isn't anything wrong with you. The opposite that you are believing in is the illusion. So time for that mirror work, and you'll be able to just move forward if you feel like you're at a crossroads. So kudos to you who have been delving into this work. It's not easy, but don't give up. Stay with yourself. Stay present with yourself. If you do fall off the wagon, please know that is a natural thing to happen. It just means that you are now making progress. You're trying, okay? And if it doesn't work for you for a little bit or even for a while, don't give up on yourself. Please don't, because this is going to be so worth it, and you're going to feel so amazing when you're in that place of just peace you're in that place of just acceptance and love, everything is just going to fall into alignment from there. So please know that, and I'm going to leave you with that. TheParanormalPriestess.com. I'm going to leave all my contact information in the description, and I would definitely love to hear your comments on this video. It's really important that we talk about this type of thing and have an open discussion, because we're here to help one another, and you never know, by sharing your experience or sharing something with the public, like a comment, that it may help somebody else. So that's the beautiful thing of being on YouTube too, is that not only am I doing these videos, which also help me, but it's also allowing others to come in and to comment and bring up important ideas and important facts and valid points and things. And I think that that's just really what we need right now. So from the heart of the darkness is born the light. Take care. Many bright blessings to all of you, and I will see you next week with the angel channel messages for March. Take care. Bye-bye. Much love.